Friday morning, and we're here again on the ATM Blowout. Remember that ATM Blowout is a syndicated live program of the network. We hold conversation on special interest topics, news, events, and stories through correspondence, reports, experts' opinions, and stakeholders' analysis. And this morning we have some conversations we will be addressing. And on our anchors chat this morning, we have on palliatives, federal government to distribute 25,000 cash transfer to vulnerable pensioners. And again on presidents, we have Atiku Askobi Kwankwaso to support his fight for justice. Ember mourns 4,387 persons killed by road accidents in 6 months, FRSC. Tiku's academic records, Nigeria's reputation at stake. On IPOB, we have Supreme Court to hear Nnamdi Kanu's case December 15th. Investigation, Senate probes denial of missed witness by Maritama Hospital. On time, we have Carl Law. Guest this morning is Dr. Abraham. He is an international and public analyst, but we'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we'll introduce him. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is ATN Blowout on a wonderful Friday morning. Our guest is already seated on right here in the studio. We have to introduce him, and he's no other but Barrister Abraham Joe Ikiri. You're welcome to the show this morning, sir. How's Nigeria treating you?
Oh, well, we're in Nigeria, and like in other country, the country is trying to treat me well.
Oh, that's good news. Good to hear. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Let's dive straight into our conversations this morning. We have the Senate has summoned Kayode Egbetokun, Acting Inspector General of Police, IGP, and Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, over the death of Greatness Olorufemi, a victim of a one-chance robbery. One chance is a type of robbery in which unsuspecting passengers are lured into commercial vehicles whose occupants are robbers. On September 26, Greatness was said to have been pushed down from a moving vehicle along the Kubwa Expressway after she was robbed by one-chance robbers. She was reportedly taken to the Maitama General Hospital, where the officers on duty allegedly demanded a police report before she could be attended to. Greatness was said to have died thereafter, but the health authorities and the FCT said the victim was brought in already dead. The FC minister has since set up a panel to probe the death of penalties for those who do not attend to gunshot victims. No gunshot victim shall be refused immediate and adequate treatment whether or not an initial monetary deposit has been paid, he quoted the act. The motion was adopted after it was put to vote by Senate President Joshua Labadi. The act are meant to appear before the Joint Committee on Health and Police. All right, so we have it at this point. A citizen of this country, Olorufemi, Greatness Olorufemi, was unfortunately a victim of these one-chance robbery activities. You know, is usually rampant. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Good. And now, you know, we have a situation where someone was brought into Maitama Hospital, and then that happened to be the lady in question. And of course, we all know that previously the issue with police report is always in question. There is need to provide police report, but this has been amended. This law has already been reviewed. But we have a hospital was supposed to have attended to this woman, and was there asking for police report. At the end of the day, this life was lost. How do we explain the situation with the hospital system we have in our country?
Well, thank you very much. This issue, this one, is just an isolated case from the millions of such occurrences that happen in this country every day, every hour, every minute. Even as we speak, similar things are happening elsewhere. And my take is that, first of all, there is no transport policy in this country. In other words, it just take you to buy one thing and put on the road. No documentation, no monitoring, no tracking anywhere. In others, well, I would say Sena Klein. In other places, efforts are made. If you enter a city, they already know you are in that city.
That's correct.
And they ensure that your safety is taken care of through tracking.
Yes.
And they also ensure that the drivers or even the taxi or the vehicle that is taking you is numbered.
That's correct.
But we don't have anything here. It's just, if you check around, you see a bus from Kaduna is here in Port Harcourt, running from here to there and all that. No documentation, no anything. That is the issue now. There should be a transport policy. Not only in the cities. You don't know the horror Nigerians face, like coming from Port Harcourt to Abuja. Motor will get stopped on the road. No refund. And no one knows how you will move. They will just tell you, if you want to wait, our motor will come to repair it by 3 days. If you want to wait with us, we wait. But we cannot give you money to continue. So if you don't have any further money to take you further to your destination, what happens? These are the things that should be done. But the other one, you know, the issue of not taking gunshot wounds in hospital came during the military regime. It was not a decree, if I can remember. It was a policy statement because that time it was rampant. And they said to be able to catch the assailants, that gunshot wounds should not be immediately attended to by doctors. And if doctors are found to be doing so, they will be treated as collaborators. So the thing is that you get a report, clear yourself from the police with your wound and blood gushing and all that. Surprisingly, the doctors who should have seen policy as draconian flew in. And even when those military regime are out, no effort was made to change it. Now, the hen has come home to roost. People are beginning to be concerned because the number of victims are increasing every day. But the oath of office of doctors are treat, take care, then all other things will be sorted out. But now they abandon that to be doing other things. I support them better. Is the FCT and the police commissioner will not provide. Yes, the IGP will not provide solution.
All right. So in other words, they've been summoned.
Yes.
The Senate has summoned them.
Yes.
And that's to an extent very impressive to have the FCT minister come to answer. And I think the health minister was also summoned. But as it is, we have the IGP and the FCT minister.
Yes.
Now, what does the Senate hope to achieve by summoning the FCT minister,
that's
the IGP?
That's the question.
What do they hope to achieve by that?
Good, that is the question. Well, first of all, I think they will remind the IGP that there is no security in Abuja where all of them are.
Okay.
And if this issue is happening at Abuja, what measure will you take to stop it? Then the FCT minister say you are in charge of some hospitals and all that. What effort are being made? But we also hear that the FCT minister has already set up a panel. That is what he's supposed to do. Turning report, maybe lay the blame on the doctors and all that. And the doctors in turn will say there is a policy that exists which has not been amended or turned. And before you know, the whole thing will be swept under the carpet. But there is need, as I said before, to take a very holistic and drastic revolutionary step to make sure that there should be a transport policy, not only for Abuja, but for the whole of the country. We are all human beings.
Yes, that transport is very striking, sir, because it would definitely aid the investigation processes of crimes.
Yes.
When crimes are committed, then it makes it very easy, because most times vehicles are part of the crimes that are being committed.
Yes.
We particularly know that the security agencies are supposed to be thoughtful enough to come up with things, with ideas that should help to curb crimes.
Yes.
This has been that for a long time now, not just the one chance robbery.
Yes.
We have a whole lot of other form of crimes.
Yes.
So we want to know from you, would like you to give us your idea on how this transport policy can be effective.
Now the security agencies are complacent. That is, they are satisfied, self-satisfied that we have police, army, and all those people on the road. But they don't also look at what they are doing on the road. Traveling from Abuja, people just what do you have for us, and you give and you take. That a vehicle can go loaded with ammunition and all that, can travel safely from Kaduna down to Port Harcourt here, and from Port Harcourt like that, because they are satisfied that, oh, we have people on the road, they should go deeper.
You mean customs can't, you mean it is possible for such conveyance to happen even when we have customs?
Of course. Of course. Just take a trip from one state to the other, just from the south here to the north. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
All right,
so what we recommend,
yes,
is an overhaul of the transport system. It is an all-commerce affairs as it is. And in fact, it is even more worrisome that only the people that will ride, if you are able to link up with one or two leadership of the, you just bring anything. That is why you have vehicles that are not supposed to be on the road. And that is why you have small vehicles that are not supposed to convey goods. You know, those days you have vehicle, articulated vehicle, written goods only.
Goods only, yes.
That is to say, this vehicle can no longer convey or carry human beings. But you now have people with goods sleeping, even with llama, everything sleeping together, and they are coming from far.
Right.
These are part
clearly that vulnerable pensioners should be immediately captured on the National Social Register and benefit from the CCT, Edu said. The minister commended Ajero for being a team player, adding that the task of moving forward was a collective one. In his response, Ajero expressed delight at the various poverty alleviation and job creation schemes rolled out by the Humanitarian Ministry. On his part, Godwin Abumusi, president of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, NUP, thanked the federal government for finding retirees worthy of social intervention programs. Abumusi said pensioners receive as low as between 5,000 and 10,000 naira a month. He said 25,000 naira is big money to them and would go a long way. This is some sort of good news coming from the federal government through the hope agenda of the federal government, because this is part of it. Is he has an agenda of hope for the nation, and then he has deemed it necessary to also include pensioners. I would like to have you react to this.
Well, for me, it will go to naught. In other words, still, this is not a comprehensive program. 3 months, 75,000 naira to a sectorial group. We are talking of pensioners. What of other sectors? Now, you look at this social scheme which started during Buhari's regime, transfer and all that. Have they done a social impact assessment of what of how that program had impacted the society before they now try to do other ones. In other words, if the subsidy on petroleum was not removed, would they bring this one? No. The removal of subsidy sparked inflation and everything. So one would have thought that to need this in the board, the answer to all those problems is the refinery. If you refine your product, distribute to our satisfaction, the cost of transportation of goods from one place to another will reduce. That will also have a multiplier effect on all other activities. There will be no need to send 25,000 naira to how many? He said 15 million.
50 million vulnerable pensioners.
Yes. Who are the vulnerable pensioners? The man who was a permanent secretary about 5 years ago, who is now on pension, will tell you that he's vulnerable. The cleaner who retired 5 years ago will tell you he's also vulnerable. So there is no instrument of measuring the vulnerability of those perceived to fall into this sector. It does not make us great to be trying to solve sectorial problem. When you solve this one will burst out. When you want to solve this, you go. Please, the purpose of theories to help administrators. There is one psychologist who said that things should be taken in the order of needs. If you are hungry today, you will not think of any other thing yet till that hunger is solved. Then before you talk of love, talk of security and all that, before you even get to the point of actualization of your talent. I understand. Okay. So what I am saying in effect is that identify the general problems, solve one, then you can climb to another. So for us, this social program which was started last has not impacted on any person. Even the recipients are still complaining. And identification of the persons. How do you send 25,000 today and one of your officials will go back to claim 10,000 naira out of it? It has been hard. They know it happened and no one has been punished. It's just that during the COVID period, they sent out money. Somebody will take a video picture with the money at hand. And when the video is taken, they will say, bring it. It happened in this country.
Mm-hmm. You know, the concern here actually, again, sir, is the issue about the NLC at the middle of this.
Good.
You know, the NLC was actually meant to take care of the whole citizens, the populace of the country. But now, it seems like the NLC has let down its guard, so to say, because now the whole of the citizens of this country are not going to benefit from this project. Because we had expected that the NLC, the TUC, would push this action, would have pushed, the action that we were all expecting to yield something that would benefit all the citizens of the country. But now with this, he was even commended, and he himself was also expressing, expressing his own.
That is a very high expectation. We tell you that they are set up to take care of the interests of members. And who are the members? The sector of the economy. Because the state, like the government, the federal government said they will pay about 30,000 naira in addition to what they earn, provisional increment. Now the states are saying that you cannot, federal government cannot negotiate for them. You find out that the last minimum wage of 30,000 naira was not paid by all states. Even as we talk, some states are still paying the 18,000 naira. Now, so what is NLC? It is a very high expectation of Nigeria to think that the NLC, even their leadership, who are also looking for how to grease their pockets, will fight for the unknown Nigerian who is suffering in the village, unknown Nigerian who is walking on the road. Normally, you see, we have passed through phases. During the time of structural adjustment program,
yes,
NLC was not in the picture. The people, that time there was no phone. Students took the gauntlet and faced soldiers and all those military people that were drafted. By 7 o'clock, when that announcement was made, to 4 o'clock, late Augustus Aikobu, the deputy, announced they turned down everything, and the measures that you are taking benefited across board. This one is sectorial, NSC, workers. Then who is talking about those who are not working or who are in the private sector? Will they form their own association? That is the problem. NSC I have never seen any meeting, any action, any measure from NSC that benefits from all of them.
Well, that's not supposed to be the case, but let's hope that the federal government, with its hope agenda, the agenda of hope to restore hope to the citizens, will actually get to everyone, and not to some selected group of persons. We have the next conversation, very interesting. Let's move on to the next conversation we have with us this morning. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called on the 2023 presidential candidates of the Labour Party and the New Nigeria People's Party, P2B and Rabiu Kwankwaso, to join him in fighting for justice for the country. Atiku made this known during the World Press Conference held in Abuja on Thursday, following the deposition of President Bola Tinubu's academic records by the Chicago State University. CSU released Tinubu's certificate to Atiku upon the order of an American court, a development that has generated reactions among Nigerians. Speaking in Abuja, Atiku said he was not fighting for himself, but for the country. This quest is not for or about Atiku Abubakar. It's a quest for the enthronement of truth, morality, justice, and accountability in our public affairs, Atiku said. In line with this, let me call on all well-meaning Nigerians, leaders of thought, religious, traditional, community, and political leaders, in particular, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso of NNPP, leaders of political parties in Nigeria, and every single person who loves this country, as I do, and who wishes nothing but the best for this country, to join me in this campaign to enshrine accountability and the basic principles of justice, morality, and uprightness in our country and in our government. All right. We have seen some kind of trend that has been playing out regarding the president's certificates. And thus far, this is how far it has gotten us to. The former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, has really been bent on seeing to the end of this matter. And then he's calling on Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso to join him in the fight of justice. Can we really say that it's about them coming all together, or is it just for his ulterior motive?
That is it. But anyway, it is a good thing that Atiku Abubakar is now a human rights activist. Well, that is it's good. However, I am disgusted on procedure. I believe so much on procedure. I thought that when these documents were released, because it's no longer one, by what we had now, several documents were released. And a group of people pushed for the university authority to be on oath. That is to say that the documents they released is the authentic one, so that there will be no effacement or multiplication of these documents. And when they are released, we thought that experts in the country, the documents will be released to them to analyze, so that we know the true situation. But what we are seeing now is what played out in Kaduna. The tribunal gave judgment. APC is
contesting.
No, APC is praising the judgment. PDP is also praising the judgment. People are confused. Who won? Why? What is the judgment's? What is the tribunal's judgment? Okay, three local governments. They are voting, their votes and everything cancelled, and INEC is ordered to reconduct election in these three, and the outcome will affect the number of votes they have.
Yes. So
this one is praising INEC and calling out people to come and enjoy. These are the multifarious statements on that one thing. So we don't know what to believe. And of course, as a lawyer, I also know that when a foreign judgment is to be used here, you first of all, according to the code, you have to domesticate it. It has to be registered in the judiciary so that it becomes a working document for the country. This our politicians will not hear. And so when they just carry it crude and raw from there, I have this document, and the Supreme Court throws that out. We will not say, hey, Supreme Court, the judges are
wicked.
They have given bribe and all that. See, that side, they believe on procedure. And it was through procedure that the document was obtained. It is also only necessary that that procedure should be followed. Register it, analyze it, then you can tender if it will be allowed. Because in the workings of appeals, when once you are not able to prove or tender a document at the court of first instance, at the appeal, you know, so much grammar.
It's a continuation of what you have.
Yes. If that is why appeal is they will just go and adopt and address the court at appeal level. You will not put an addition which was not there before. And we are now at the Supreme Court because of the election, the judgment of the tribunal. They went to appeal court. Whether they appeal, the Supreme Court will accept further documents in this case. We leave it for conjecture.
Okay, barrister, sir, you know, this issue really it has become like the main talk in town.
Yes.
You know, and like you said, it has not really given a particular side,
yes,
okay, to the matter on ground.
Yes.
We hear from some different things.
APC is saying another thing. PDP is saying another thing.
All right. So now that Atiku has achieved the records that he has been seeking for, how, in the legal aspect of what he is pursuing,
yes,
what does he stand to possibly achieve with his certificates, owing to the fact that he's heading, or he has already submitted this to the Supreme Court? Is there any possibility, is there any hope to get something out of this?
Well, I will say that I will draw the attention.
Has anything been established? Have we been able to establish anything that is inconsistent with?
That is the problem. A situation where APC is celebrating, PDP is celebrating. Now CSU, that is Chicago State University, they have released this and all that. We are confused.
Honestly,
we don't know what. Now, it is left for experts to study these documents and come up. In fact, in other climes, the federal government or the state government, all those concerned, will also have body of senior advocates, who have the office of the Attorney General of the Federation, who can say, okay, let us analyze this and see how it affects. Taking a sober retrospective reflection on this matter, in 1999, this issue came up. Bola Ahmed Tinubu with Chicago certificate. To the extent State House of Assembly, whereby impeachment was almost done, carried out. But they found out that the whole allegation were a mere facade. They dropped everything. Tinubu succeeded in doing 8 years. The matter has come up again. To me, the addition now is that instead of rumoring around Nigeria, it has gone to the university. Release what this man claimed he has, and they have so released it.
So how far can PDP go with this? How far can PDP go with this?
Well,
because there is also an extension to this where Atiku is saying that he can only drop or sheath his sword when the Supreme Court actually comes up with their own judgments that there is nothing this can hold, that this can go far from what he has done. If the Supreme Court comes up to say that they can't go any far with this, and that's only the time he could drop this.
That is, for me, when I read it, it's now a variant, a conditioner, a new condition.
It can be easy for the Supreme Court to now strike it off.
A condition that is different from the former stand when he was pursuing it.
Okay.
He was so rigid and he said this, that, this and that. But now that he will only drop when the Supreme Court agrees otherwise. Is that not so? That is to say, for me, I concluded that perhaps this man has seen that
it wasn't necessary.
Yes, that what he was pursuing is not true, it's not the way he perceived. Okay. So he's now carrying the burden to another body.
Okay.
That is the way I look at it. If not, why now ask Obi? Why now ask Kwankwaso? How would they join him? How would they? Is he going to institute a fresh suit in court concerning this matter? But he said he's continuing the his presidential ambition, and he went to court on his capacity as a contestant of the 2023 general election. So he's called to turning himself into a human rights activist. That his mission is to achieve this, achieve that, achieve that. It's clouded for me. 3 of a hidden ambition and all that.
All right, we'll have the next conversation here, but we're going to go on a short break. We are already in the last quarter of the year, And this is the ember moons are of great concern to everybody. So we'll have that conversation after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to ATN Blowout this morning. We are going over to the next conversation. Barely 3 months before the Christmas festival, Nigerians, particularly those who will embark on journeys by road during the festive period, are already worried and concerned about the rising spate of accidents on the road. This followed a report by the Federal Road Safety Commission, FRSC, in August that Nigeria has lost 24 lives daily. Nigeria loses 24 each month, or about 24 lives lost daily. Prior to the August report, the Commission had in April disclosed that 1,349 people were killed in road accidents between January 1st and April 12th this year. This followed a report by the Federal Road Safety Commission, FRSC, in August that Nigeria lost 24 lives daily between January and June this year. According to the April report, 2,400 during the period, the FRSC further said the crash involved 3,965 vehicles conveying 16,102 people, and out of that number, 1,349 people were killed, while 7,740 crashes since the beginning of this year lends credence to the authenticity of the FRSC's worrisome report. In January 2023, a tragic motor accident claimed the lives of 18 people and injured about 40 others in Ilela local government area of Sokoto State. The accident involved a truck carrying passengers and a herd of cattle. From the available data, which could best be regarded as conservative estimates, Nigeria has a serious and growing road accident problem that is about the worst in the world. Between 1971 and 1985, which is a period of 15 years, legislative and other measures adopted by the government to combat the ugly trend proved ineffective. And so in 1988, the Federal Road Safety Commission was established to control road accidents in Nigeria. But with the establishment of FRSC and its much touted effort to stem the increasing rate of road accidents, the scourge seems to be on the increase year in, year out. So the question that agitates the minds of Nigerians are, what are we not doing right? Why has the road accidents rate been rising every year? How can it be curtailed to the barest minimum? All right, let's leave it at this. We've got the message already. And that is exactly the question I was about to ask you, Sir Barrister. We have great concern. You know, this is where it has been in the minds of people. Once we enter the Ember month, that's the last quarter of the year, people have this notion, people have this impression that this is a period where we usually experience much accidents. And then the FRSC is there to curtail this, but year in, year out, the number keeps increasing. To this extent, sir, I would like you to give us your reaction on this, on how this problem, because this is a huge problem, is a huge concern. How can we tackle the issue of accidents? Because we are already in the period.
It's okay. First of all, I feel disappointed on that report. If you read the act that brought FRSC into existence and taking the personality that headed it when it was formed, Professor Wole Soyinka, it had very weighty and high ambition. That commission was highly respected.
You're right, sir.
Seeing them on the road alone, indisciplined driver, we automatically become disciplined.
That's correct.
But now, that the high expectation of Nigerians have been belied. FRCN, the commission has become like any other government agency. The commission have deviated. And look at the report. During the first 3 reports we got from that commission when Wole Soyinka was there, it would itemize the accident, the cause, and what is to be done. But it is not enough to churn out statistics without analysis. At that time, we were told that the greatest cause of road accident in Nigeria was the bad roads. That this driver was trying to do this while the other one is doing that, and they collided like this. Now it is no longer like that. We were also told that the greatest cause of road accident in Nigeria at that time was the high level of drunkenness amongst drivers.
That's true.
But here, this report did not tell us how many percentage of this accident is caused by drunkenness. And now, at that time, we are talking of only ogogoro and all that gin, and that we are sold in the parks. An action we are taking to remove them from the parks. Now, substance have now been added. The commission has abandoned to tell us how these substances taken by drivers are causing these accidents. They have not also told us whether the accidents are more of the day activity or the night. They have not also told us whether as enshrined in the act, the commission is supposed to be liaising with the Ministry of Works. When they will say, okay, this road is asphalted, like the current minister said, no, he will abandon asphalt now for concrete. His reason is that it is durable. But we have not linked that to the impact it has on the road, the rate of accidents. If we use asphalt, if we use concrete, to what extent are this commission checking the tires, vehicle tires, those worn out, those that are not supposed to be used again, and all that. So it's not comprehensive. There is need for it, not only People die, accident happen. Not only on ember months, the so-called ember months that has infused fears. People must travel. But even on non-ember months, accident happen. So it should not be sectorial. It should not be happen this one, don't happen that. It should be generalized.
The thing is that it's by statistics and records, it seems to have had more of it during the ember months. And
yes.
That's why most people are more concerned about that period.
Good. Now, at that time, yes, it was pointed out that many people, this accident happened at this time. And they gave reason. Drivers who travel from Onitsha from morning till night will not rest. We will put back the same vehicle. We will not checking whether all the pass are good. Put it back to carry passengers again from that side in the night back. And at the time we had, a driver confessed that for 4 good days, it's not culturalized. It's a culture amongst drivers.
All right, Boris, there's a point that needs to be raised around this conversation.
Yes.
It's interesting to know that the University of Abuja recently came up with the exercise of conducting an exercise of drug tests on their students. Yes. Recently, and it's kind of sounds funny, but there's a reason. They said that they have to embark on this because they need to check the level of drug abuse and all that, and also help their students so that at the end of graduation there won't be nuisance to themselves.
Yes.
Now, is it not possible for the transport, the Minister of Transport and all of that to come up with some kind of activities like this that could checkmate the drivers, at least before you get to embark on journeys like that, long distance journeys like this? There should be a kind of test to ensure that at least the person driving, there won't be any issue of accidents coming from them.
When the act was enacted, the vision was a comprehensive, a holistic thing. Ministry of Health, Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Works. Now at a time, yes, in the act, it is said that the commission has the power to take any culprit, any person found responsible for many accidents, to the psychiatric hospitals to check his level of mental health before you enter the road. These things are abandoned.
And there is this there's this will I call it a style of checking people in the Western world, like
yes.
Your speed limit and all that.
Yes.
There's a certain speed limit that is allowed, in all the roads, and
yes.
once you exceed it, there is something. There is a notification that indicates that the rate of accidents we have on our roads.
Yes, but that's that pursuit been abandoned. What made Wole Soyinka to resign was a deviation from the stated we kill human beings anyhow for small act of yes. So he resigned. And since then they have been deviating to the extent now, go to the road. The commission officers collect bribes and look the other way. Supposed to be 3 seats yes. at the back.
Yes.
He bought over 2.
Yes.
Then a lady with a small child was mangled into one of the seats with the load covering them.
Oh.
From Abuja to Port Harcourt.
Oh. That's not sad.
And yet we pass over 100 and something checkpoints.
Of Road Safety Service Commission.
Yeah, with army, police, and all that.
All right, let's look at this conversation right away. The former vice president, still on the Chicago State University issue and the certificate of their president. The former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, on Thursday said Nigeria's reputation is at stake with the controversy surrounding the Chicago State University certificate submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission by President Bola Tinubu. This is as he also urged the relevant stakeholders to uphold the tenets of democracy by establishing the truth about the certificate submitted to the electoral umpire by the president. The reputation of our country is at stake, and that affects Nigerians everywhere and wherever they may be. Atiku, who was People's Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, said while briefing journalists in the presidential candidates of Labour Party and the new Nigeria People's Party, Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso, respectively, to join him in fighting for justice for the country. All right, this is like getting back to what we
discussed before.
Atiku. Now, we leave that to the Supreme Court. I wouldn't want us to go over to this discussion again. We leave that to the Supreme Court.
But I will only add that there seems to be serious confusion. There is confusion now. Now, what they will do, that should be done is to go to court, whereby the court will summon, will have several statements of this document. Now, what did you actually release? And let them clarify before it can be authenticated. Now, the present situation is confusion, confusion, and confusion. That is what I can say about it.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Abraham Joe Ikiri. Yes. Let's go to the next very pressing, supposedly interesting discussion. Very, very concerned discussion here. The Supreme Court on Thursday slated December 15 to deliver its judgment on the appeal that is seeking to compel the federal government to release the embattled leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. He filed on May 3, 2023. He prayed the court to allow FG's appeal set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which ordered Kanu's release and ordered the resumption of his trial before the Federal High Court in Abuja on terrorism-related charges. Ghazali San further urged the Apex Court to dismiss Kanu's cross-appeal. Renewed call for Nnamdi Kanu's release. Reps call for Kanu's release to end insecurity in Southeast region. It will be recalled that the Court of Appeal in Abuja had that the federal government entered against the detained IPOB leader before the Federal High Court in Abuja. All right, so for the sake of time, we're running out of time. Let's quickly dive straight to this. The IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu, is supposed to have been released from detention, and he's being held against his will. With the report we have on ground, what can we say to this kind of situation where the judiciary seems not to be respecting the rule of law that people look up to them for?
No, it's not the judiciary not respecting. It is the executive that is not respecting the pronouncement of the judiciary. In this case, it is the case went from a high court, then to the Court of Appeal. Now, after Court of Appeal, it is the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
And that is the procedure.
Yes.
Now, if like the Court of Appeal had given pronouncements twice over this matter, Nnamdi Kanu would have been released then. The pronouncement of one of the appeal is that there is no extradition extradition arrangement between Nigeria and Kenya.
Yeah.
Therefore, Nnamdi Kanu should be taken back to Kenya and be released from there. That the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu at Kenya and smuggled into Nigeria was illegal. That was the of one of the appeals. Then the other one did not find him guilty. That's why they quashed all the 15
count charges.
Yes, and ordered for his release. Yet the executive arm held him. Please, I want to correct the impression. when they say federal government is made up, in fact, government is made up of the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. So you can only pinpoint the arm of government or the organ of government that is flouting the other. Now, here I have identified the executive. It was left for the president that time because you must obey the order of a court. The judiciary, the legislature made a law. The executive is executing the law. Now, if the execution is lopsided, it is the duty of the judiciary to put it straight.
So why?
And they have done this. So the executive has flouted the order of the judiciary. We fervently hope now, in another dispensation, that the Supreme Court will discharge its responsibility. At that time, the Supreme Court will stand its ground because there is no need for them to have rejected the the decision of the appeal and still go back to a lower court.
All right, sir.
To take an order.
Yes, that's okay. Let's quickly get to this before we wrap up. Yes. The Department of State Services (DSS) has helped the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission (ICPC) to effect the arrest of erstwhile lecturer of the University of Calabar, UNICAL, Professor Cyril Ndufon, who is accused of sexual harassment. Clearing the air on the arrest, the DSS High Command hinted that ICPC had sought to collaborate with the secret police agency on the institution's sex scandal matter involving Ndufon, the former Dean of Faculty of Law of the institution. According to DSS spokesman Dr. Peter Afunaya, the commission had disclosed the refusal of Ndufon to honor its several invitations, necessitating his eventual arrest in Calabar, Cross River State, by its operatives on October 4, 2023, based on a court order. However, following the Commission's request and in the spirit of interagency cooperation, the DSS supported it for a successful operation. Sir, for the sake of time, we all know about the story of the law lecturer, the dean. He was the dean,
Faculty of Law,
yes. UNICAL.
Yes.
Now, at this point in time, the lecturer has been finally arrested. Well, he's still claiming that he has nothing, he hasn't done anything. But the point is, he first of all took the school to an industrial court.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, he was told that they will meet in court, and now this is where he has found himself. How can we explain how correct this is in the face of law?
Yes, in the face of law, it is assumed. No, you know that the school management also took some decisions concerning him. They suspended him from the office. They took on so many measures. Now, Ndufon himself went to court, National Industrial Court of Nigeria. Now, one would have thought that they would have allowed the processes to run through. But however, when DSS intervened and now calling ICPC, it's not well, I don't know if there is any criminal element.
That's a criminal offense, sir. Sex scandal is a criminal.
We have investigated and we have a prima facie case of criminality. Why? Yes, it is possible. Why the civil one he went to at the National Industrial Court is running? This is criminal. We have confirmed he has sexual deeds, and the guest said, let those of them who are studying there in the faculty breathe. Are they coming to their aid on criminal this pursuit in the court? So it can run simultaneously, but we